you, crafty lot. I'm so glad you could come back and join us for the last show on this wonderful Saturday afternoon stroke evening, or even morning, depending on where you are. In the US, it's 1 o'clock on the East Coast, 10 a.m. specific time. So yes, happy Saturday wherever you are. And to our Australian friends, happy Sunday. Good day, and I hope you're having a good Sunday, because it'll be Sunday over there already. So wherever you are all around the world, I hope you are well, and I hope you've enjoyed our first two shows of the days. Wasn't that Craft Your Stash earlier, all about the foil press? Amazing. The amount of comments that we had through was phenomenal. Thank you. What we love is interactive shows. So it's only interactive because I've got my pal over on the other side. Good afternoon, Mr. Laird. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. Yeah, really looking forward to yet another show. Had a really fun Play Your Crafts Right. Really fun that Sam added some wrestlers within that Play Your Crafts Right. You can go back and watch that later. And yeah, another really good Craft Your Stash. What a great week. I know we've still got one to come tomorrow with Jan, but what an incredible week we've had with all these Craft Your Stash, giving you the ability to, of course, either reuse or start to reinvigorate the crafting stash that you've already got. But when it comes to this show, we're going to have a look at Venetian Grace. And what I said within Play Your Crafts Right, Corrine, when it comes to this collection, we've got a lovely collection on the show.
Yep.
And we do have the ability that Corrine will go over, you know, you can add like paper pads and that. They're not in the bundle, but they are on the website. But what I thought I would do is I'll try and just use the collection that we've got on the show. So I'm not using any of the paper pads. So if you're not going to go for them, what I thought I would do is I'll just try and use key colours. Earlier on this morning, we've done like a white work design with the Venetian Grace. I'll do another kind of white work design within this show here, but what I will do is I'll add some greys. This time we're going to create our background, going with some pinks, going with some blacks, we're going in with some golds. So really using colours that you will have as a crafter, whether it's a long-term crafter or a short-term crafter, you'll be a crafter that have probably most of the colours that I'm going to use.
That sounds like an amazing plan. I'm loving the thought of that. Just to show you that even when we bring you these little smaller collections, or as we call them, selections, then you can still make amazing projects. You don't need to have the whole bundle. Sometimes you might want the whole bundle. I mean, the paper pad for Venetian Grace is beautiful, and you might want that. But if you thought, no, I'm just going to get the hardware, I've got some paper pads, I bought Wildflower, I bought the Colours of Summer, I bought all of these other ones, then yeah, we're going to, it's the royal we. Craig is going to show you how you can use them. So I think that's a really, really good plan. Now, we've had a little bit of a change, still got Nicola and James, but now we've got our Grace on social. So, hi Grace, thanks for joining us for the last show. But on the comments, we've got Lois in from Ohio. Jeffrey Langley says, happy Saturday all. Stephanie Theodore says, afternoon. Everyone, hi Stephanie. And Dawn Braddock says, good afternoon from New Jersey. So, yeah, the comments will keep coming through as our Grace can keep up with them. But as Craig has already said, today, this show is a masterclass all about Venetian Grace. Maybe, did you hear us earlier saying that because it's World Card Making Day, we're running a competition today that if you can send us in pictures of cards you've made, please make sure they've got something Crafter's Companion on it. Oh, Nicola's giving you another 30 minutes. You've got 30 minutes from now. So 6:30 UK time, we're going to have to draw the line, because we need time for Tracy to... She needs to deliberate and select her favourite one. So you've got about another half an hour. Send in your images. And then the winner of Tracy's opinion, the favourite card, is that's sent in to studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, because I got that wrong earlier, .co.uk, will win a £10 voucher. And it will arrive with you bright and early at the beginning of next week. And that will mean that you can spend it on birthday. So I think that is absolutely perfect. You don't need to make any purchases, you just need to send us in a card. Okay, so we've got that. Marjorie Thompson says, evening all, how's everyone doing? We're doing really well. We're fed, we're watered, and we're ready to go. This 2 hours is going to fly past. Okay, so the collection as we have got it, as we said, is the Venetian Grace. This is our tools collection. None of this is consumable. These are going to last forever. You look after them, you're going to have these around in 10, 15 years time and the rest. And I love it that nothing is sort of to what you call fashionable, on trend. You know, it's a really classic collection, so you're going to be able to use it. Now, the first thing we've got is the harmonious harp. Absolutely gorgeous. There are 8 different elements, giving you 8 stamps and 14 dies in total. It's a single die, but as you can see there, look, that's brilliant shot there. Can you see? That is open fretwork. So that means it's a cut and emboss die. So cut it first, then run it through with your embossing mat, and then you'll get all of that detail. And then you get all of the detail, as you can see, emboss onto there. Another one that's a bit of a cut and emboss one is our Rialto bridge. So all of this detail down here is going to emboss as well. Rialto bridge, you saw our Craig using that earlier, absolutely gorgeous, really good for linking the 2 sides of your project together. So we love that one. You're going to get these. Also, you're going to get this stamp and die, which is your little cherub, absolutely gorgeous. So you get the little cherub stamp and the die to coordinate. It's up to you whether you stamp and cut or cut and stamp. Up to you. You do it the way that works for you. And then get those pens out, whether it's your alcohol pens, whether it's your watercolour pens, or maybe it's your pencils of choice. You get those out and you can colour it just like that. Then we've got a couple of frames. So the first one is the Renaissance frame. And again, you saw our Craig showing how this one can be used, because this one is really good if you want to do shaker elements in it, or you know, just raise it up on a bit of foam, because as you can see, there's lots of white area in here where you can be putting your foam tape behind. So it works really, really well. So that's your Renaissance frame, which is lovely. And then we've got our ornamental frame. Now this one, unless you're going to put it behind the mat layer, would be very hard to use your foam tape with. Really easy if you wanted to. What you could do is you could use the inner frame with the outer frame and have that on and then just raise the whole lot up, because that would work. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous, very dainty, very filigree-esque, and being such a pretty one. So 3 dies in total. Your outer die, your detail die, and your inner frame as well. Again, another one that would look lovely with your foiling that we saw earlier. And the next one we've got is our Renaissance border and corners. So you're getting this gorgeous border die. And we talked a lot about border dies earlier. You know, they are so versatile, because you can have a really little slim border. You can have a chunky border. We were talking about using them at the edge of your photographs for your scrapbooking. So many different ways to use them. And then these 3 corresponding corners or flourishes, embellishments, however you want. And again, both of these elements are cut and emboss. Then you've got a cut and emboss folder. So this is brilliant. So it's going to pop it in, and in one pass of your die, pass of your folder, it will die cut out the aperture in the middle. That's what the spongy bit is. Don't try and peel that out. And it will also do the embossing at the same time. So you're not worrying about making sure it's lined up or flattening the emboss when you're trying to cut the aperture or anything like that. It's perfect. And then we've got our moment in time. You've got all these lovely stamps. I have faith in you, love, faith and hope, moment in time. Today is all about you. How about that? And then you've also got this lovely treble clef and the musical notes as well. Now, if you want all of that, it should be just over £60, or it's got a line through it, $80, I think. But not today. You're going to get that for £51 or $60. Oh, $80, $60. I couldn't tell because of the way it struck through. £51, $68 is today's price, saving you over 15%. And your platinum price is going right down to £40.80. $54.40. We'll go into it in more detail later. Your platinum price that you're seeing there, the website's slightly changed. We'll talk about it a bit later. The website's slightly changed, so you won't see that price when you log in. But if you are platinum, that is the price you will see in your basket. You've got to just trust the process, go through to your basket. Your login screen will show your Club Inspire level. So if you're platinum, it will say platinum, but your price will still reflect the £51 or the $68 at that point. And it's not until you go to checkout that it drops down to your platinum price. Please have faith in the process, and we'll just talk it through a bit later on. But I want to jump straight into looking at a few finished samples and letting our Craig do his first demo, because he's got some beautiful demos to do.
Thank you, Corrine. Let's do it. Let's dive straight in. Look, let's have a look at some finished samples first of all. Now, when I was talking about that white work, I done this card back in Play Your Crafts Right this morning. So really building up the layers. So with the layers or the items within the collection Corrine just showed you, that's what I've used. The cardstock that I've used is white multi-purpose and your white Centura Pearl with a hint of silver.
Yeah.
So most crafters, most fans of Crafter's Companion will have your Centura Pearl with a hint of silver. So that's just two cardstock, two simple plain cardstock that I used. If you don't have Centura Pearl, any kind of like white pearl cardstock, shimmer cardstock.
It would also look nice in just like a silver mirror, wouldn't
Absolutely.
it?
Absolutely,
you know, if you've maybe got that, sometimes things like that might be a bit easier to come by.
But going in, of course, with the frame, with the bridge, the sentiment and the borders, top and bottom, and that's a 5x7 card. So really, really simple, but by gosh, how effective does that look with two simple colours? But then you can then start to bring in all of your cardstock, your papers. You know, you can tear the edge, distress the edges. When it comes to the framework, some of the detail, you've got the embossed detail that will talk you through. I'm going to use the harp, which is, of course, as Corrine said, has got all that embossed detail that we're going to do. But then you can do your concepts. This is a lovely collection if you've got your template library or you've got your expansion packs. So, of course, you're going to be able to do different concepts and build upon them within that little collection. Double gate folds, keeping it clean and simple here that you can see that Bianca's done within this one here. She's also done an easel. So again, lots of different forms. What's lovely with this collection as well, any of, say, your vintage rose papers work with this. The Summer of Colours paper pads work with this. The Dancing Dragonfly paper are going to work with this. You've got a vast variety of papers. Maybe something that's coming up within birthday week, that's all that I'm just saying, would work well. So even if you're not going to go for the papers, know that the papers that you've got already at home will go with this collection here. You might some have your floral, adorable scoreable from Hunky Dory. That's going to work an absolute treat as well. Team them with all of the other crafting collections that you've got from other brands there. But you can see you can do fun cards, big cards, elaborate cards.
That changes it so much by just changing the colours, doesn't it?
Completely. So changing the colours completely or just going two-tone. That one colour, but the two tones of that one colour as well. It works an absolute treat. But as I said at the start, just using simple colour cardstock that you would have at home. I'm putting that to the side because that's going home with me. What we're going to do is we're going to do our own background as well. Now, I know many of you have seen me do this sort of thing many times, but I love doing it and it's so effective. And it's just starting off with our white multi-purpose.
Oh, I'm glad you're doing this one first.
Yeah, I was really pleased with this one. It's really simple, but I was really pleased with this. So because I'm going to be using the harp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, within that sentiment stamp set that you also get, you've got the little music. You've got the music lyrics, scripts. What's it called?
Treble clef.
Treble clef. That sounds familiar from school, but I've never had to read music. Although when I was with Leanne just the other week there, when I was chatting to her, because I'm not a musical person, but the one thing I've always loved, wish I could have done, was played the piano.
All right.
Or you know, the piano or your keyboard
Just
or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know when you were watching like Elton John at Glastonbury and he was just belting out the piano, and I was thinking, how cool would that be if you're a musician and just banging out the tunes when it comes to the piano. So yeah, that's the one instrument that I wish I had taken up, but I've not, so therefore I can't read music. But using this stamp, all that I'm going to do is I'm just creating my background.
Right off the edge as well. It looks so much...
Absolutely, right off the edge. It looks more natural.
That's the word I was looking for, yes.
If you're trying to be natural and organic, but you find that there is still symmetry to it, what I would suggest, I've cut this to 5x7. Cut it to 6x8. Do your background and then trim. And then you'll naturally take off the edges and you'll have that organic flow with stamping. So if you're not comfortable with stamping off the edge, stamp onto a bigger piece of cardstock and then cut down. But you can also just use your small stamping platform, but I know I've done this and touched
Your
upon this
blocks would work as well,
lots of
wouldn't
time.
it?
They're all going to work, absolutely they're going to work. But for me, when it comes to small stamps, I'm an old style guy. I still like to go in with my acrylic blocks.
So you're twisting it and turning it, but you're essentially still keeping that treble clef roughly the right way up, aren't you?
Yes.
You've not spun it 180 degrees and had it upside down or anything like that?
No, I've kept it this way because this is the way that it's going to be. Although my finished one that I've done, because we won't have time to do all of this background, but my finished one I've actually done in the different way, and that's only because the thought process of the finished layout I actually changed mid-flow.
It develops, doesn't it, as you go along?
It does. So what you'll see is all of these musical lyrics, what they're called?
Treble clef.
Treble clef. They're all kind of like facing me. You'll see the one that I bring in just shortly, I've actually stamped it that way, so they're facing me that way, and I've changed it. Doesn't really matter, it's still going to work, and you'll see what I mean. But by going in random, filling in, going in, just as you said, Corrine, off the page, even if it's just the littlest bit off the page, and then we're going to come in with my favourite trick that I love to do. It's not really
Now,
a
somebody
trick.
was asking us about this morning
They
with
were,
a
weren't they?
sentiment, and what you're going to do now will work with an image or a sentiment.
Absolutely, and I'm going to do it both with this background and with this sentiment within this demo. My go-to is always ice grey too. You can use a variety of different ice greys. You can use some of the ice blues if you want. You can use any low tone that you want. It's up to you. It's what you feel looks good. But I always like to go around the ice grey. And a lot of people do think this is a lot more complicated than it actually is. Because I'll get people that will ask them, well, what do you draw around? What don't you draw around? You draw around everything. You are simply drawing around the outline of every single element. So for this one, I'm going around. As you can see, I'm not being overly neat. It's as if I'm just drawing around with my pen, which is exactly what I'm doing. Even your little apertures, your little connections, whatever stamped image or design you're drawing around, you draw around the whole lot.
So this could be words, it could be a flower, it could be an image,
Anything,
it could be
yeah.
anything, it could be a flourish.
Anything like that. It's also good to do this if you've got any sentiment outline dies or any outline dies, cut them in black, die cut them in black or any dark colour, create a layout, stick them down and then go around with a nice grey.
Oh wow, yes.
That works well as well. I do that sometimes, but it is predominantly with the ice grey and a stamped image, and it is the alcohol-proof ink pad that I've used because, of course, the classic pen that I'm using is the alcohol-based one. And it is classic. You can use it within the tri-blend, the Illustrator if you wanted that really fine nib or that thicker brush nib, or as I said before, any different tone. But all that you're going to do is you're just going to draw around. I sat just the other night and I watched Big Brother's Best Bits while just drawing all the way around. So if you think something like this is too big, put something on, show, TV, music, whatever it is, and just listen while you're doing it. Get lost in the thought of listening or sideballing the programme while you're doing this. And it's amazing how quick. And it might actually be one of those kind of technique, Corrine, like for me, I actually find it very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Because I've got nothing to concentrate other than what I'm doing. So if I want to lose my mind, not in a sadistic way, I just mean lose my mind as in not think about anything. You know, if I've been having a horrible day or a tough day or anything like that, I'm doing nothing but concentrating on what I'm drawing around, and that's all that I'm concentrating on.
You know, some people doodle when they're on the telephone.
Yeah.
You could have something like this, and then
That's a really good idea.
Sat on the telephone, and you can just do it. Because I think sometimes I find with colouring as well, sometimes I get the best results with my colouring when I don't overthink, when I let it flow naturally.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. I completely agree with you. You're not giving into any thought other than laying the colour down, whether you're blending, whether you're doing this outline, but you're just going to keep on going. You're going to keep going all the way around. Now for this, I wouldn't necessarily have to go in that whole bit, and you'll understand why. I really only needed the outer frame. I didn't even need to stamp into the middle.
You've actually started in the middle, but yeah.
Because I've started in the middle, yeah, and we're actually going to cover most of that up. But it's also a nice way just to show you how it looks as a background, you know, because you might just want to come along with a little musical. For instance, you've got You Are the Music in My Heart. We're actually going to use that in a minute. Now, you could do a little strip of card, stamp that out, matte and layer, and then that's your background done. So, you know, it's still a good way, although I'm going to cover most of it up, it's still a good way to show how it would look. But then once you've done all of the area that's going to be seen, you're going to be left with this here. Now keep in mind, I've stamped the middle, but I've not drawn round the middle.
Yeah.
And notice I had originally done it that way. And then at the last minute, I changed my mind.
Do you know, it's not actually that noticeable.
It's not, is it? It's not that noticeable. So what I'm going to do is, remember this is still 5x7. So I'm going to layer this onto a piece of our pink linen cardstock. So got my pink linen, and I've given myself a very, very fine black matten layer. So the pink is 1/4 of an inch bigger, so that's 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, or I should do it the other way, 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, and then I've just given myself a really thin black matten layer. So I'm going to pop that onto my card blank that I've got just to the side of me. I'm just going to add my tape on. And although I'm using my tissue tape, you know, go back to glue school the other day where I talked you through the uses of our tape runner, and I also incorporated the tissue tape because it's my favourite. It's always my go-to when I've got time. So I'm just adding that on. I'm going to come into my card blank here. And it was A4 cut in half, making it A5. But what I've done is I've trimmed it to 7 3/4 to 5 3/4. Because when you fold your A4 in half, it's not a bang-on measurement. And if you know me, when it comes to increments, it bugs the life out of me. I like it to be square or rectangle. So I'll fold my A4 in half and then trim it. So I've trimmed it so it's exactly 7 3/4 by 5 3/4. And then let's bring in a nesting die. So I've gone in with my stitched edged oval, which is my second biggest one. And I'm going to pop that onto white multi-purpose. The one that I've actually done is actually a straight edged oval, but I will still be able to show you the concept of what I'm doing. And we're just going to pop that in. Now for this one, always remember what Debbie Robinson tells you about the layers. For this, I could absolutely take out my magnetic shim, but I still want that kind of embossed line around the edge, but I don't want to do it with my embossing mat. So I'm letting that pressure of the plates do that kind of embossing on the outline. What I'm going to do is carefully move that out the way. I'm then just going to take that out. Now, because it's a simple die, it's going to slide out quite easily. So I'm going to pop that in. I'll tell you what, that's what it looks like when you take the die away.
Yeah.
Let's go back in, and I'm going to slot this back in the best that I can here.
They usually do because you've got the pin dots in them.
That's it, yeah. It's usually a little bit easier. It's just with an oval, it's just getting it into that right position because it is an awkward shape. So let's just level that back in. And I really want to do this because it does look cool when you do what I'm just away to do. Right, I think I've got it the best that I can, he says. Right, that'll need to do. I'm going to go in with a little bit of Misty Mountain, and this is just our water reactive. So I'm going to take some of that off of my glass mat, and I'm going to blend on. I'm going to really try and hold that die into place. And I'm just going around the edges. Now, at first glance, it doesn't actually look like you've got much coming off.
It will when you take that die
It's
off.
when you take it away. Not only do you notice the Misty Mountain, or whatever colour that you use, but then you get, what did I say?
Misty Mountain.
Misty Mountain. Misty Mountain. Misty Mountain, that used to be a Yankee Candle scent.
Ah,
That's
Misty Morning.
Yeah, Misty Morning. But then if I layered that in,
you can see it now, yeah, you can see it.
and then take that away,
Wow, yeah.
How striking does that look?
Doesn't it?
How cool does that look? So that's giving you that full white border all the way round, because of course the dye has blocked you from blending on top. So let's take our stamping mat, and then let's go in with that sentiment here. You are the music in my heart. So for this one, I'm going to use I'll just use my small stamping platform for this one. And I'm just going to layer that one on into place. Let's ink that up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of hover to the right-hand side. Now, I kind of know where my harp is going to go. So I'm going to go into the right-hand side. Let's press that in. And then what I'm going to do again is, now you can either stamp, ink, and then blend, or do what I've done, blend, stamp, and then ink. Because it's an alcohol pen and it's your grey, you're still going to see the grey all the way around. And I've showed you the treble clef. Now, when it comes to sentiment, it's nothing different.
Oh, you're going around the letters, not just around the outline?
No, I'm going around the individual letters. Now, some of it, depending on how small the font is, some of it will join up, but it doesn't matter. I'm just following the sentiment, or following each word within the sentiment, drawing around, and you can see I'm doing it really quite roughly. I'm simply just drawing around as if I'm going around each letter,
Craig,
just to create.
We've had a comment from Karen Wells Sorrell. She said, Craig, would that look good to do that background, and it's work for your sentiment as well, in other colours such as a darker blue to stamp and a lighter blue to outline with?
Absolutely, absolutely. That would look fab. Change your cardstock. I've used pink. Change it to blue as well, or navy. That would look really, really smart. And then I'll bring this one that I've already done here, Corrine. So this was just ovals from my stash at home. It's just plain edge oval. It's not the stitch edge. It's a plain oval. I've matte and layered that onto a bigger nesting die that was in pink cardstock. And these little stars, these are from, you know, the Gemini Mini, you know, the little baby grow. It's the little star in the middle.
Oh.
So I've die cut the baby grow 3 times in pink, but instead of using the baby grow, I've used the star. Now I know there's collections with a number of stars, but I just thought that was the perfect little size.
You know, the minis, again, there's one with, is it called Fairy Wishes? Ooh, Fairy Wishes. I think that's got some nice little stars in as well,
It does, because I looked at it, but the stars are in, they're just like a four-point star, which I kind of wanted an actual star. So yes, you could use that if you wanted to, but that's then that layer on. But of course, we've got a blank space towards that left-hand side. So then what we're going to do is we're then going to bring in another piece of the linen. So this is a linen pink. And I say linen pink, this is actually the texture pink. It was just from our 12 by 12
we've got
texture
that on the show
pads.
today. We love that.
So that's going to cut into here. And what I'm going to do as well is this one I am going to emboss with the embossing mat, because this is going to be the top one. So I've used the same plate, the full plate configuration, because I want to enhance that emboss, even though I'm going to add the embossing mat. So remember what I said earlier on about embossing. If you ever get confused about the layers, what I do is, so that's the way it's come out, I flip it over, take any little residual pieces out, and then I pop my mat over the top, put my plate back, flip it over, and then I take out my magnetic shim, because you never have the magnetic shim and the embossing mat in at the same time. Too much pressure. If you do that, you can tell Charlotte's not in, otherwise I would be getting a doo-doo. If you do that, what that will do, oh, you've got a juju. Just skim on that one. We've got a doo-doo. How do I owe you about £6 in the gallery?
£1 for every
How many
doo-doo.
times have I said doo-doo today? Apparently I've said it about 900 times in the last few seconds. Slight exaggeration. So now if I take that out, what we have got is we then just going to prise that out. I've got my low-tack tape, it's just catching it, but prising it out.
Oh, wow, you can see that detail.
And you can see that detail. Now you can if you want. I'm not going to, but you can if you want. Either at this point, go over with inks, go over with waxes, or even use your dye as a stencil.
Yeah.
So if you only want the ink or waxes in a specific spot, this is when you're going to do it. But let's take that die again. I'm just going to do this in black card, but this is going to be my drop shadow. So I'm not going to bother about embossing it because we're not going to see the embossed detail within this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm still just going to do the same plate configuration, run that one through, and then all that we're going to do is in between the layers, and I'll tell you the measurements in a minute, that's going to go between our music lyric background and then our oval. So let's take that out, move all that out the way. Let's pop these little bits out into here. And then let's take our, I'm going to use my tacky glue for this one. Your dotted tape runner would work. You can use your adhesive sheets, anything like that that were covered in glue school last week. And I'm just going to...
You didn't mean to put it on that one,
didn't need to put it on that one. But do you know something?
You do in a minute.
I do in a minute, but at the moment, no. I do have one completed, but I do just want to use what I've just cut. So let's do that again. So we're going to go onto the back of our pink harp. I'm going to do little strands, just lightly up and down. Add that in. And then I always do a drop shadow, most of the time, to the bottom right-hand corner.
Oh, no, yeah.
So I do it to the bottom right
Yes,
to pull down.
I like my shadow to the left, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So let's just press that in, hold that down. And now that's all of our components ready to go. So then all that I need to do within this one here, let's pop this one on tape, like so. So we're going to keep this one flat. So this was just some pink gingham cardstock that I had from my stash. I know we've done previous collections with like gingham card and that papers, which I've cut to 6x4. The pink 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then I've given myself a really thin black matte layer. Take these ones off, and as you can tell, and you'll have seen over recent months, and I've said it, I love black and, for instance, I love black and pink, black and yellow, black and orange. I love blacks. It's a really good one to use.
And now you can see why you didn't need to do those in the middle.
The centre bit. That's now given me that platform. Let's go in with my oval, the one that I've done. Let's lift that one up on pads. That's just going to elevate it. These pads are 3 mil in depth. So you can reduce that with your foam pads. So let's pop that into the middle. And then let's add this. Let's add that. I'm going to use the foam pad strips. So these, I love these. These come in.
I forget to use these.
Oh, I love them, Corrine. Absolutely love them. These come in the small foam pad bundles, which actually also come with circle foam pad dots as well. So I'm just going to take these ones off. I use these are my absolute go-to for shakers. For shakers as well, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, love these for
Because it's
shakers.
a bit finer than your roll of foam tape, isn't it?
Well, when it comes to one sheet, you get two widths. So you get a thicker width. I've actually used all of them. And then you get this thinner width. So the thicker ones, they're really good for shakers. But I'm going to come along. And in actual fact, because these are so light and delicate, you could make this into a little shaker with acetate and just see some actual shaker elements through the back. I'm just making sure that I take that off. And then that's just going to sit nicely to the left-hand side. Pop that in. And no one would have thought that that's come from a Venetian Grace collection that you can see here.
Beautiful.
Now, you change the blue to pink, or
Pink
to blue, or to yellows or oranges or anything like that. You know, you go do it with craft. There's a guy's card.
Yeah.
If you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But there
I
we
just
go.
love the concept, doing that background, doing those mats and layers.
Oh, and I
like
forgot.
You say, you've forgotten something.
You know how I always like to put some
Always
form
put
of
something.
insert in,
Yeah.
even although at the moment I don't know who I'm giving it to, but I'll always put an insert in, as me and Corrine was talking about earlier on as to why I do it. Pop that in, And what I do, my insert, the main layer, is always our white multi-purpose.
Yeah.
And the matte layer that I use, it's whatever is the darkest tone on the front.
Right.
So let's say instead of black, say that was navy.
That would be navy.
I would have used navy. Say it was red, red would have been the darkest out the top layer.
Yeah.
So it would be red inside. So whatever my darkest tone of cardstock is on my front is what my matte layer will be. And now when I know who I'm going to give it to, I can print out an insert, stick it in, I can pop another one in, I can stamp into that if I want to.
It's totally flat. You could stamp onto that with your
Absolutely,
platform.
yeah, absolutely. And what I was referring to a moment ago with talking to Corrine is any of these cards that we've got left over, of course, these sit at home. This one, if it doesn't win demo of the day and then week, it'll go into my box at home, and then therefore it's there ready. I just need to take it out, put my sentiment, and it's good to go.
Absolutely perfect. That was the one I really, really wanted Craig to do first, because I'm loving that. Now, if you want that collection, and I just think Craig has just really sort of piqued your interest with that, because he made something completely different. £51, $68. If you're platinum, £40.80, $54.40. Now, there are loads of comments come in. See how many we can get through. Caroline Wilson, says, learned so much in the first 2 shows. Looking forward to more tips and ideas. These shows are wonderful for getting me to use what I already have. I think we should have a regular feature of Craft Your Stash shows. Everyone's agreeing. Yeah. Lynn Bledsoe, hello from Indiana. Jay Weaver, hello from Idaho. Zoe Carver says, evening, everyone. Teresa Campbell says, hello. Hope everyone is doing well. We're really good
Doing
here.
really
Thank you,
well,
Teresa.
thank you very much.
That's followed by another Teresa. This is Robinson Smith, says hello from Maryland, USA. It's amazing how many times that happened. We have 2 people with the same Christian name put comments on consecutively. Jane Adams says, hi again, everyone, from Las Vegas. Made it home from the dreaded grocery store. Glad to be done early. It's already hot outside. Oh,
Who was that
dear.
from? Jane?
Jane in Las Vegas.
Oh, Jane, let me know. How's that sphere looking?
What's
How's the
she doing?
MSG sphere? Have you not seen it?
No.
The new big domed arena.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. It's just a great big ball.
Oh,
it's
is it?
full of LED screens inside and
So is it
out.
open, or is it still being built?
No, it's open now. You two just opened it just the other night. They were talking about it, me and Ben, the other night.
Oh,
honestly,
wow.
you need to look on TikTok or just online. It looks incredible. You can see it, or you could probably see it from space. It's huge, but it's all the quirky, because it's LED on the outside as well.
Yeah.
They have like the emoji face. They had a Halloween one I seen yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, a big, it was done up like a pumpkin. Honestly, apparently it's meant to be coming to London as well.
Oh, wow,
A sphere,
amazing.
yeah.
Oh, look forward to that. Caroline says, hello from Boyd's, Maryland. Watching while doing chores. Oh, that's boring. Hi, Craig, Corrine and the CTV crew. We've got Laurie and hello again. Olds 29, evening all. Lynn Morton's here from a wet Newcastle. Oh, is it raining, Lynn? Oh, dear. Linda says, hello again. A little late. Just got my package. Oh, she's obviously been on HSN. My Bella Luna mega bundle and watercolour set. All I can say is, wow, love it. So that's a sneak peek to Monday and onwards. So yes, make sure you tune in. Have you looked in the booklet and seen? Have you sort of like put little tabs on all the things that you want? Yeah. Lillian Quart says, let it flow when you were doing the background. These have been coming up a while. Dawn Braddock says this technique really finishes off the background. It does, doesn't it? If you just had those treble clefs printed in black, stamped in black, look lovely, but putting that grey around, or a blue, or a yellow, whatever colour you wanted, really lifts them. I love Venetian Grace, so lovely, says Marjorie. We talked about Karen's. Okay, that's neat, says Dawn Braddock. Very cool, says Jane Adams. Jamie Ellis says, nice colouring, doing a grand job. There you are. Definitely got approval there. Heather Springer says, one of the best tips I've ever learned from Craig is going around my words with a grey marker. There you go. Everyone's loving that. Tim C says, wow, I love this card. Marcella says, beautiful card. Lynn Morton, beautiful, Craig, thank you. And Sean Sanderson says, gorgeous card. Right, now, did I mention, I think it's too late. Entries are closed, but we're just going to show you a few more images of cards that people have sent in to try and win the World Card Making Day competition that we just randomly decided to run here. This is lovely. Alison Yates. I'm loving this.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm not sure whether it's a box or a card. It's mount board.
Nice.
Isn't that absolutely gorgeous?
So effective. Colour in the middle, left the outline black. Really lovely. Now, Dawn Bishop, she's used our cut-in, cut-out dies, because I remember the swans.
Yes, they're nice, aren't they?
Loving those. So pretty. Linda, oh my goodness me. Is that lovebirds?
Is that a chinoiserie? Yeah.
Chinoiserie. Oh, I see, I don't know that collection. It's before my time, but that is stunning.
It's been a long time since I've said that collection. I had to just watch
Chinoiserie.
what I said there.
Mo has sent in a beautiful birthday cake. Loving this, Mo. Thank you.
It's a great one.
Absolutely gorgeous. And my friend Stephanie, I've done 2 craft alongs with Stephanie, always been the presenter. She sent this one in. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Loving it. I love the flower.
It's from the Lily collection, I want to say.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think that was just before your time as well.
Yeah, loving that. That's so pretty.
Thank you. We are loving those. So yeah, a few more entries for the competition. Tracy's got her glasses on. That means business. She is going to be.
Judges in the room.
She is going to. Oh, she's pointing her glasses at me. I don't know what she said.
Was her hand in the air? Was her hand in the air as well?
She said something. I just went. Oh, yeah, her hand is in the air, Craig.
Oh, it was to me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim C's got a quick question for you, Craig. Can Craig just quickly go over what he was on about folding half A4, about the sizes and then the mats and layers? So you did about, so I think it was showing how you take it from A4 down to something smaller.
Yeah, so let's, if I bring in, right, let's,
go.
instead
there you go.
of, let's just cut out the...
So A4 is 11.25 by, I have to try and remember, in inches, it's 8 1/4 by 11.25, that's right.
Yeah, so when you fold it in half, so an A5 card blank, that is just over, a little bit over 8 1/4 and a little bit over 5 3/4, which bugs the life out of me.
Yeah, you don't like that, do you?
Absolutely bugs the life out of me, yeah. So what I do is
You can then take it down wherever you want.
You can take it down
wherever you want.
If you want it to be as close to A5, then what to do is just come down as far as you want, come down. So that's going to make it at a perfect increment, a quarter of an inch increment. So then therefore, you can easily come along and you can go down quarter of an inch increments when it comes to mats and layers.
So I think that's what Tim was saying. So Tim, when we mat and layer, we always reduce by, personally, this is our preference choice. You can do whatever you want, but we all like reducing by quarter of an inch. You can your first layer, sometimes you might reduce by half an inch. So if you've got 8 by 5 3/4, you could go 7 1/2 by 5 1/4. You've gone down half an inch. That's going to give you the bigger border. And then all of your other layers after that, you'd either go down by quarter of an inch or half an inch. It's just pleasing on the eye, isn't it?
It is. When you think of any other card blank out there that would tend to do 6 by 6, 7 by 7, 4 by 6, 5 by 5, they're all to a quarter of an inch increments. They're all to that specific measurement. But then, of course, if you fold an A4 isn't, but you fold it in half, A5 is not a bang-on quarter of an inch increment. And for me, who likes quarter of an inch increments, as I always go on about, so easy to mat and layer. And, you know, you guys agree when you see me doing it and you think, oh my God, that really does make a difference. Then just by, if you're doing A5, trim it down just so that you're at that quarter of an inch increment, or smaller if you want to, but going to a quarter of an inch increment does make a difference when it comes to mats and layers.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Okay, so we are going to take a quick break. I've got a couple more questions, or comments and questions. Our Carol, she's got some of her deliveries from HSN as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. Quick little break, all about Crafters TV. So exciting. We're so excited about what's happening next week. But let's see what's happening on Crafters TV, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Are we in trouble or are we all right? Should be coming in. Should be coming.
What does she do?
Exactly
What
how
does she do?
he looks.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on catch up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
And I watch you every day, and it's just what really gets you through when you're really at rock bottom.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
Hi, I'm Ben from Crafters TV. As you may know, we've just launched an amazing new website, our new home of papercraft to house all of your crafty needs. And as we've had a bit of a makeover, I'm here today to help you add those crafty goodies to your basket and check out. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. First, head on over to the Crafters Companion homepage. Select the correct geographical location at the top of the page. Next, log into your My Crafters account. Explore the site and products using the navigation bar at the top of the screen. When you find the product you want, add to your basket by clicking the Add to Basket button. You'll then have the option to view your basket or continue shopping. If you want to check out, click View Your Basket. Here you can see the list of items you've added along with the order summary on the right-hand side of the screen. This is also where you'll see your loyalty discount. And just remember, the price you're seeing at this stage, excluding any delivery charges. This will also be your opportunity to add any discount codes you may have. Simply type in the code, hit apply, and if your code is valid, you should see the correct amount of discount deducted from your order total. Once you're happy to go ahead with your order, click the Proceed to Checkout button in the summary box on the right-hand side of your screen. If you want to use ShopPay, PayPal or Google Pay, you can select the relevant option under Express Checkout and you'll be given instructions on how to check out. If you have a gift card, you can enter the code on the right-hand side of the screen and press Apply. You should see the correct amount of discount deducted from your total. If you'd like to pay by card, the details linked to your account should appear in the relevant fields. If these aren't showing, you'll need to fill out the correct details. When you've entered your payment information, click the Continue to Shipping button at the bottom of the screen. Select your preferred shipping option, click Continue to Payment. Here you can enter your card details or select ShopPay, PayPal or ClearPay. Next, make sure the correct billing address is entered under the billing address section, or if this is the same as your shipping address, then you'll have the option to select it. Click Pay Now, and that's it. You'll be taken to a thank you page with an order number, and you'll also receive a confirmation email with the details of your crafty purchase, which will be on its way to you very soon.
Hello and welcome back. I think that little tutorial from our Ben is so helpful. I hope you all getting to know your way around the website. Yeah, it's different, it's something new, but thank you for bearing with us. We really do appreciate it. We have spent a lot of time trying to iron out all the little niggles, but we think it's well worth it because it's working so well now. And hopefully you're enjoying the faster, the more efficient processes that you can go through. So yeah, anyway, as I was saying, Carol D is saying that her Wild at Heart, lovely, I've not got that yet, fabulous fuchsia collections, both arrived yesterday, love, love, love. I am doing the first look of fabulous fuchsia with Michelle in a couple of weeks. Yeah, because that's after the birthday event, I think, I'm pretty certain, yeah.
Oh, you can just wait on the jokes coming for that one, can't you?
Back to the fuchsia and all that.
All of these fuchsia jokes.
They're all going to be there, aren't they?
Yeah,
all going to be there.
Every single item within that collection, whoever I'm on with, I'll be going, can you go back to the fuchsia there, back to the fuchsia there. Back to the Future. You can just
Yeah.
tell.
It's just going to last 2 hours, isn't it? Kim Rick says lots of beautiful cards. Lois Gassel says beautiful makes, everyone, lovely makes and wonderful cards. Those were all comments that came in when we were showing you everybody's makes. A couple of questions. So, Craig. Connie says, does your fine tip glue bottle of tacky glue ever clog? If yes, how do you unclog this?
Sometimes, very rarely, sometimes.
So you store yours differently to a lot of us.
Yeah, so it's an old glitter pot actually, and I just have a baby wipe. I just use the same baby wipe. That will dry out, but every now and again I just give it a spritz with water from our water spritzer. So it's damp, not that it's soaking, but it's just damp, and then I just hold it in like that. I don't have the pin or anything like that. It's more than enough just to keep that damp, keep the tip damp for me to keep using it. If it does ever clog up, what I'll sometimes do is either the wire that I've got for flower forming, and I just go in and I give it a little poke in, or the bristles from your die release tool. They are just fine enough for you to go in and then
clean that
just
out.
give it a little clean. Any excess, I'll take it off my brush, but that's more than enough. But very rarely, just every now and again, like I say, give it a little bit of a spritz, and that's more than enough.
Perfect. Now, Anne says, couldn't you use the Ultimate Pro to get the fold? Yes, but you'd still have an odd number. Because whatever method you use to fold your car A4 in half, the final result would still be something that didn't end in a full quarter of an inch.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
So, so yes, you could have used the Ultimate Pro, couldn't you?
Yeah, but still would have to
But you
chop
still
in.
would have trimmed it down.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, there. Wanda says, hello from Lewiston, Idaho. Craig, could you please sing your Halloween song for my great-granddaughters, Harper and Lainey? They are 3 and 4. They're watching with me. I didn't see that.
I was going to put my Halloween is coming t-shirt on as well today, underneath this jacket. I went for a sailor look instead. Right, yo, we ready? Right, yo. Halloween is coming, Halloween is coming, witches, cats and big black bats. Boo!
I've not seen you do that.
iTunes #1.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, we'll have to get you on YouTube or something with that one.
I'm sure Ben's already got it out there from last year.
I bet he has. I did hear he was getting a new tune ready. I wonder if that's it.
Oh, I doubt it.
You doubt it?
I doubt it.
There you go, Wanda. Hope your granddaughters love that. Harper and Lainey, there you go. Perfect. Right, OK. So let's go back to our Venetian Grace Collection. Not back to the fuchsia.
I was just a way to say that.
We're going back to our Venetian Grace Collection. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, you're getting 8 different elements in this. It's going to give you 8 stamps and 14 dies. So you're going to get your harmonious harp. You saw Craig use earlier. Our Rialto bridge, he used in Wake Up Call. You're going to get the lovely little cherub, which is the stamp and die. You're going to get the first of the 2 frames, which is your Renaissance frame. So this is the one that will emboss. You're getting a different frame, really detailed on this one, which is, go that way around even, your ornamental frame. Really pretty is that. Renaissance border and corners, so lots of ways to use that, you can see. Really, really pretty. You're getting your Opulent Grace, which is a cut and emboss folder. Lovely on that, going to cut and emboss all in one go. And finally, you're going to get your Moment in Time stamps. And that includes the little treble clef that Craig was using in the last project. £51, $68 if you're platinum, because as we said, that's now going to show at checkout. £40.80, $54.40. What elements are you using this time, Craig?
So I'm going to use the cut and emboss folder.
Oh, yes.
Going to be using the Renaissance, just the corners. I'm going to use the harp again, and we'll use the sentiment stamps. But we're going to do a box this time. We're going to do a box. So I've got my card stock here. I just need to remind myself which one is. So I think that one is, that's going to go over. So that's the base. That's the base, and that's the top.
Oh,
so
it's hard to tell, isn't it?
When you don't put a little note on for yourself, yeah, it is. So remember, I done box making, craft your stash for Sarah on Wednesday, and I talked you through about the measurements. I'm not going to show you what I'm going to put in the box just yet. What I will just say is what I've got measured at 4.5 inches by 6 3/4. Now for that to go into a box with a 1 inch lip all the way round, so of course I needed to go 4.5 plus an inch plus an inch, which gives me 6.5. And then because the height of what I'm putting in is 6 3/4 plus an inch, plus an inch, that meant my card needed to be 8 3/4. So 8 3/4 by 6.5, and I've scored an inch all the way round. So I've scored in at the box lid at the left-hand side, and then I've scored in at the box base on the opposite side. Both same measurements, both exactly the same size of cardstock. It's the scoreboard that I let do the measuring. So once I've got them in, I'm just going to double check that one again. So that's right. So that's going to be my top. So I'm going to go in with the top one here. Let's give that a nice fold, first of all. So I thought what I'll do is...
So is this your hint of white, white with
yeah.
the hint of silver, whatever it is again?
Yeah, it is. I was going through a phase with that the other day, and I thought I'm going to keep on using it because I think it worked well with the elements from this collection here. So I thought off the back of box making, I thought it was a Saturday night, so we'll not rush it. So that's why I've cut and scored it to the size that I want. But I thought what we'll do is we'll just assemble it live on the show. So let's give that one there, just a nice little burnish. I'm just going to do L for lid, just so that I remember, because knowing my luck, what I'll probably end up doing is end up decorating
around
and decorating the base as well. Sort of thing I do if I don't put a little L and a B for lid or base. So let's go and then fold and burnish these ones in here. I'm going to fold that over. And as I explained within box making craft your stash, scoreboard craft your stash, I tend to fold with my fingers first, then I go in with a burnish. So before we do anything with that, we've done our scoring and our folding. So let's go in with our embossing folder. So this is our Opulent Grace. So I'm going to add in a bit of black card. Now I've cut this to just a little bit shy of 4 by 6. It's actually 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. So it's 1/4 of an inch smaller than the actual folder. So I'm going to get that positioned in the middle. So you will have excess folder plastic around the edge. And now that's us ready to go. So Corrine said at the start, that little white sponge, never remove that from a cut and emboss folder. That's there just to protect the die on the opposite side of the folder. It's a 2D folder technically, so I'm going to do my 2 cutting plates, but I do still like to add in my metal shim, even with a cut and emboss folder. Yeah, it's not going to damage it. It's just a perfect amount of pressure just to still give you that enhancement when it comes to the emboss, but it's not going to be too much that's going to crack the die, damage the die or the folder. So I'm just going to then take that out, lift that up, and then even if we were to leave that just in black, I've probably just given away what my way to do now. Tilt that just when you get, even when you see it in black. Many of you that have embossed onto black, you'll know how incredible embossing folders look onto black. But what we'll do instead, let's bring in some wax. And I'm going to go in with antique gold. I think the one that I've pre-done, I want to say I used the Renaissance, but either way, this is going to work.
You making a mess over there?
I am. I've just stuck my middle finger in the lid. So I'm going to go in light. So starting off light, you can always add, but with waxes, you can certainly never take off. So we're just going to go in light with our finger. And I'm purposely just trying to stay within that embossed detail. I'm not wanting to go around the edge. I'm trying not to go onto any of this excess card. If I do, it's very forgiving and go for that rustic feel, but I am just purposely trying to stay on course.
That is very subtle. I'm sure once you pick it up, it will be visible.
So if I then, so if I tilt
yes. Oh, that shows, doesn't it?
that way. So if I bring it up that way, tilt it. There we go, look at
Oh,
that.
yes, wow.
Look at
I
that.
couldn't see that.
Yeah, just going in flat, of course. It's not always the best to see. It's kind of like a magic trick when you're looking from above down. It's as if nothing's there. And then as soon as you start to tilt and the light catches, that's when it really stands out.
Now you've shown us, you can see it. That's weird, isn't it? Couldn't see that before, but as soon as you've shown us, I can now see it even flat.
It's like that trick on the eye, isn't it? It's like one of
Yeah.
these magic pictures.
Wanda says you've made the girls' day. She's going to be playing that over and over for them.
Awesome. You're more than welcome. More than welcome. It's nice we can make people smile and laugh.
Yes.
I'd rather you were smiling and laughing with us, but if you're smiling and laughing at me, I don't mind, I don't mind. So you can keep on going and
Oh,
going
that is
and
beautiful.
going. Look at that one there. What I am going to do though is I'm going to use the one that I've already done because it is, let me just wipe my hand here, it is a gold. And I've gone in a lot more subtler, if that's even a word. Subtle.
More subtly,
More subtly.
I think.
Subtly?
I think.
Subtler. So we've got, it's Saturday night. You could say anything and get away with anything.
That's beautiful.
There we go. So that was the King Gold. It wasn't the Empire Gold, it was the King Gold. The only reason I still want to use this is because all my other layers are actually gold. So it makes sense to keep using it. Just take that excess off. I could just use my adhesive spray in a moment to take it all off. So once I've got that done there, what I'm going to do is I've got some gold satin card and I've taken out the centre. The only reason I've done that is so I'm not wasting my cardstock. It's not as if you're going to see through it. It's not as if I'm doing a shaker or anything like that. It's purely so I didn't waste my gold satin cardstock. Because in actual fact, some of this, towards this inner layer, we're not actually going to see it because we're going to be covering it up. It's only some of the outer edge that we're seeing. And then what I'm going to do is because I've got my cardstock, it makes it quite flimsy. So if I take all my tape off, sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult and temperamental to line up. So all that I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist the edges here. And then that gives me freedom and flexibility to move. And then if I've not got it in the right place, I've only just stuck down one or two corners. It's easy to lift off. I'm then just going to reposition it. I've now got not Renaissance gold, antique gold on that layer, but hey ho. Press down the corners and then just carefully take the tabs out.
If I'm using tissue tape, that's how I do it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a comfortable way of doing it.
Yeah.
I tend to only do it, Corrine, is if I've got my cardstock and it makes the layer a little bit more flimsy.
Yeah.
So I'll tend to do it that way. So that is, let's bring in our lid. So let's assemble our lid just now, or at least let's assemble our top layer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble this or assemble the lid detail and then assemble the actual box lid.
Yeah, it's easier to do it while it's flat, isn't it?
It is, yeah, because I'm going to do some lining up and some layering. I'm not putting anything around the edges, but when it comes to the centre here and lining up and layering, it's just a lot easier doing it when it's flat. I'm then going to go in with a bit of black card, and this is 2.5 by 4.5. I'm going to use the harp, but what I actually want is I don't want the harp cut in black. I want the aperture of the harp.
Right.
So let's take that down. So I want to get that as straight as possible. I'm only going to put a tiny little bit of tape holding it down. What I can then do, because I'm not bothered about this being embossed, I only want that aperture. Let's just run it through the mini.
What's effectively the waist?
What I'm wanting is the waist, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I was thinking you didn't want the heart to cut properly.
No, I want that. I want that
Oh,
there.
I'm intrigued.
So, I tell you what, there's no point in doing that with the antique. Let's bring in that one. So again, with the same gold as this top layer,
Yeah.
what I've done is I've just sketched around the edge. So instead of using a blending pad, Corrine, what I've done is I've used my finger and essentially blended just around the edges, just to give it a little bit of gold.
Just softens it a little bit, doesn't
Softens it that little bit. So move that out the way. That one, I'm going to come in here onto my gold satin again, which is 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. So this is then going to go in flat. So I'm going to use my tacky glue for this one.
I'm intrigued.
So let's add the tacky glue into here. So that's going to give me my gold layer all the way round. So we've got that aperture, that framework of the harp. Let's bring in another bit of that same Centura pearl, and let's bring that harp in again. And this time I do want to emboss it afterwards. So let's cut it.
I think I know where you're going now with
So
this
we're
bit.
going
With
to-
this bit, I think I know.
You've probably cottoned on to what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to run that one through. Going to emboss it. I'm not going to put any waxes, any ink, anything like that onto the embossed detail. You can do maybe a little bit of that coordinated gold gilding wax. That would look nice. But I'm going to keep it all natural. Like I said, I was trying to keep the layers as simplistic with cardstock or colour card that many will have at home. Even if you've not got satin gold, you'll maybe have mirror gold or something like that. So we're going to run that one through again, popped in the embossing mat, taken out the magnetic shim. So when we're layering up as well, essentially what we're doing is we're cutting into the embossing mat. We're not, because it's to do with the configuration, but the mat is a magic thing. The only way you will cut into that is if you do add in your magnetic shim. Too much pressure, and as I always say, you will absolutely annihilate your embossing mat.
I did. Very first time I used my Gemini, I decided I knew better than the instruction booklet. I was like, no, the instruction booklet doesn't know what it's talking about.
Yeah,
And no, it chewed it up.
there's some things that you can fudge, but when it comes to the embossing mat with the magnetic shim, no matter what, it doesn't like it.
Do you know what? It cost me an embossing mat, but I've never done it again.
You've never done it again?
Never done it again.
Never. Learnt the lesson.
I certainly did.
Don't get me wrong, I've done it as well. Although it has been by accident.
Yeah. No, mine was deliberate because I decided that the booklet had to be wrong. Don't know why, but it
I
did.
thought it was just guys that were like that, that don't read the instructions.
Wow.
So we're going to
That pops.
pop that back in, and then what I would do is, because it's obviously glue, that fine detail, so I've got a little bit excess onto my gold satin. So once that's dried, I would come along just with a little microfiber cloth or something and just buff off any of that excess glue that's in the middle. If we take that off for now, so that just stands proud in the middle there, that we've got that one. So let's set that one to the side. Let's just do one of these for now. So I'm going to take one of the corners, and you've got 3 of them. 2 of them are quite symmetrical, and you've got one that's got more of that curl and curve, but both of them have got embossed detail. And I think this is, in recent years, Corrine, this has got to be one of the collection that's got the most embossable detail. That's not a word, but I like that word.
Yeah.
Embossable detail out of all of our collections.
Impossible's a good word.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's nice. Embossable. Embossable. The emboss. Oh, yeah, all right, Craig. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it should be James. The embossable. That could be my new wrestler name. It's WWE Fastlane tonight. I know that's just like over the top of your head. So that could be my wrestling name. So I'm going to flip that. We're then going to come along. You know how in the earlier show, I'm just totally jumping TV shows here. Now in the earlier show, I mentioned about Big Brother back. Just in our break there, you probably heard that noise, Corrine, when we were having something to eat. Me on my phone, they've actually just put out pictures of the actual house.
All right.
They put pictures of the garden, but they've just released pictures of actually inside the house. If there was ever a time that I'm kicking myself most for not applying, it's now. It looks so cool. Not that I would
Do you
probably...
think you could do it?
I would struggle. That's why I would like to do it. I've always wanted to do it. It's not really a long story. Before I joined Crafters Companion, and you can laugh at this, by all means, you can all absolutely laugh. I do not mind. But a couple of years before joining Crafters Companion, Corrine, I actually didn't have a lot of confidence.
Right.
I would never go on the train anywhere. I would never go places. I would never do anything. And the reason I always wanted to do Big Brother is because I felt I'm out my comfort zone. I've got no one around me that I would know, and I thought it would be a real challenge. Maybe be a little bit easier now that I've been with Crafters Companion and, you know, I've got all this life experience in that now. But that is ultimately, that's why I really wanted to do it, to challenge
That's the
myself.
right reasons, isn't it?
Yeah.
Totally the right reasons for doing something like that.
It was nothing to do with fame or publicity. I love the show. I know, you know, people have mixed ideas. I know, like, Ben can't stand it, which I get it. But yeah, if they do it right, it's done well. But yeah, that's why I always wanted to do it. But I doubt I would get potentially up to 8 weeks off.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Although, as I always said, I'd probably only need 1 week. I'd probably be kicked out within the first week.
Craig, what is that shape made up of?
Is that a trick question?
No. Somebody's just asked me to get you to say a certain word.
Oh, swirl.
Swirl. There you go.
All
Hannah
full
Law.
of swirls.
She said, Craig, make my day and say swirl, please.
Swirls. Another one that's got some swirls.
There you go.
So within the Centura Pearl, I cut and embossed it, Corrine. For the gold satin, didn't need to emboss it because it's just going as a drop shadow. And then what I've also done, moment in time, stamped it out, gone round with my ice grey. So let's assemble this. So before we do the lid, let's assemble the base here. So we're just
Terry
going to
Anderson
go
says,
in.
to be fair, Craig, I think this is a reference to the embossing mat. You also squished an elephant.
Yeah, I'll never live that down, will I? Poor Nelly the elephant.
You know, our viewers remember everything. I am
They do.
never, ever going to be allowed to forget that I wore my dress inside out multiple times.
Yeah, to be fair, we won't let you forget about that.
It's just not even once. It was multiple times.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the. What are the
It's
chances?
because I get dressed without my glasses on. So I can't see that level of detail.
Right.
I can see my dress,
Yeah.
but when they are very similar inside and outside, yeah.
But yeah, I
I
don't
spend too long doing my hair and makeup and then I go, oh my goodness me, I've got to be out of the house in
Throw
four and a
it
half
on.
minutes.
throw it on.
And throw it on, you see.
No, I do. I don't know. Maybe guys' clothes now are a little bit different, where it's easy to see if they're inside out. I'm not saying I've never worn like a t-shirt or that. I don't think I've ever done it on air.
I think I must have just rushed.
You just had so much excitement to get into the
Yeah.
studio.
That's it.
Yes, that's right, Nicola. Most embarrassing one definitely goes to Fisher in the wax seal. The wax seal gate, the bird poop gate. That's definitely going to go to Debbie Fisher. Never going to live it down.
She's not, is she?
Did I tell when we launched the wax seal collection?
Yeah, the new one.
On a new one, it was meant to be me and Fisher, and she was demonstrating, and I was presenting,
Yeah.
and she actually put an email to it's Lily that deals with kind of like our schedule and that now. But at the time it was Brent predominantly. She put an email, a funny email to Brent, with me included, saying, "Guys, can I swap with Craig? I can't. So, Debbie, if you've never told anyone this, sorry. But yeah, she actually put an email saying, I can't do a launch show with the wax seal after what happened. As it was, things had changed anyway.
It wasn't.
No, it was Michelle that ended up, yeah.
Because I was... There you go. Our Nicola's saying she got Debbie to use it and she redeemed herself.
I want to say I ended up at Hobby Maker, and we had to do a little bit of a change. I think Debbie was in, wasn't she? But she went back to presenting, and she was on with Michelle. And Michelle, yeah. So yeah, never ever let it down, and never will I let her live it down. But then, to be fair, with the amount of reminders I get with the little whoopsie-daisy words that I say.
Ah, so although it's got an aperture, you're not actually using the aperture.
Not using the aperture whatsoever. And I've purposely done that because a lot of people, and you know, I completely understand, when you see an aperture within a folder, you feel as though you have to use it.
Yeah.
You have to use it as an accent. It has to be a feature. No, it doesn't. Maybe you just like the outer detail like I do within this folder. So then just use the outer detail. Just because it's there does not mean that it has to be seen. So I can come down here. I'm just going to pop a little, so I'm going to go foam pad into here. Another thing that I'm going to do, certainly with the sentiment, is we are going to go in the middle. There's like kind of misconception as well, as though you can't cover the main image, but it does work. It does work. Just because you're blocking part of it off does not mean that it's not going to work. So if I take that one.
Radical, corner dies, not in the corner.
Yeah, not in the corner. Oh, I'm really going rogue tonight, haven't I?
You are, aren't you?
I am. I'm being a right rebel. A right rebel. I'm pushing boundaries. There we go. Let's add that on a couple of pads. You can add gems and pearls if you want to, but that's going to go split right along the middle, and then that can be a lovely gift if you've been shopping on QVC and you've been buying L'Occitane stuff. You can then put in
Oh, what's that? Oh,
some nice L'Occitane soaps as a gift.
How fantastic is that?
There we go. So,
And do you know what? It could get quite masculine as well.
yeah. So the 6 of them, referring to the box, the 6 of them I measured, they were 6 3/4 in height by 4.5 inches in width. That's the 6 of them put together. So that's how I got the measurement for the box. But then we can then just pop that one on. So going black, black, gold, and white as well. So not really seeing the full feature of the folder, not really seeing the full feature of the heart, and not even using the corners within an actual corner. We're using it as a top and bottom framework to then, of course, just visually shine light on that sentiment.
Absolutely gorgeous, completely different look. We've used the harp in both of them and we've got very different looks on there. There we go. Right, we've got Laurel and Karen saying, love that song. Love to hear Craig singing it. Thank you. Both of them said that. Jamie Ennis says, I make Christmas and birthday cards out of my colouring stuff. Absolutely brilliant way to do it. Stephanie is loving this Venetian Grace Collection. Love the included elements. I already said, Wanda says, thanks for making a girl's day. Be replaying that over and over. Dawn was already thinking when you started doing that about the gold with the black. She loves that. And she says, I love gilding waxes. They're so therapeutic. They are. They're lovely to use. So pretty. Wanda also says, getting excited for next week. Saw the booklet and wow. Placed an order on Monday afternoon and got it Thursday in Idaho. Placed HSN order at the same time. Still waiting for it. You guys are amazing. Ooh, that's an interesting one. From the booklet, what you've seen so far, what are you most excited for? Now, I know what our Craig's most excited for, so I think he sort of gave that one away to me earlier. And look at the one you're actually launching.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you see? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right up your street.
Right up my straza.
Right up, they really are, yes. I'm trying to think. Oh, there's lots. There's absolutely lots. Oh, our Nicola likes Bella Luna. That's the Sheena one, isn't it?
Sheena, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, there's so many. I don't think I...
When you say Bella Luna, I just think of Lady and the Tramp, Bella Notte.
Yeah.
This is the night, is a beautiful night.
Yeah.
Bella Notte.
Maybe
She
Sheena will
might
sing
be.
it for
Maybe
you.
she's got
Maybe
it
she
from.
will. There we go. Deborah Spencer says, I was watching that show when Debbie did that. It was hilarious. Karen says, I laughed so hard over the wax seal episode that tears were coming out of my eyes. Debbie's giggles made me laugh even more. Terry Anderson says, Corrine, I have a shirt that's like your dress. Went all around town with it on inside out. Got home and my daughter laughed so hard she could hardly tell me my shirt was on inside out. You see, so many done that. Wax Seal Gate has to go down in history as the funniest show ever, says Rhonda. Wonderful box of Cheryl. That's amazing, says Karen. Crafty Stacey Lou says, now that's classy. It is, isn't it? I think that black and gold. And Terry Anderson said, this is fabulous, Craig. There you go. Yeah, but I would love to know, what are you most excited about? We've got tri-blend pens and the paper box on Monday. I'm trying to think. I can't remember after that what comes after that.
And can I just say,
yeah,
if you're going for that paper box, right, take into account what you would be for postage.
I know.
It is blinking heavy as.
It is 240 sheets it's got in it.
All that I'm going to say when it comes to that.
I've got that because I was going to launch that, but we've chopped a couple of things around. So I did actually get that at home. 240 sheets of paper in there. It at 12 by 12 weighs a ton. Carol D says, I did get all the Bella Luna papers. I'm going to buy some stamps and dies next week to go with them. The linen card is very pretty. Brilliant. Oh, birthday collections people are loving. Our Grace has done me a whole section on that. Diane Harrison, I'm waiting for Bella Luna. I've seen it and love it. Bella Luna, Wild at Heart. Oh, let's be honest, I want it all. There you go. Oats29 says, I love the look of the Wildcat Heart collection. I think she means Wild at Heart. This typo. And the Mermaid collection. That's gorgeous. The Mermaid collection's all about mediums. Because I was asking Tracy, says, is there any hardware in that? No, it's all your consumable element, your gilding waxes and your glitter paste and your pens. It looks really exciting. That's Tuesday. That is Tuesday. And Bella Luna collection and everything else, she says. There we go. Everybody is loving that. There we go. Right. What we're going to do next, Nicola? Another one? Ooh. I think our Tracy's been busy and she's selected a winner for our right, okay. So, how are we going to do this? We haven't decided. All right, we're just going to show the picture and we'll have a quick chat about it. So, if this is your picture, there we go. No, that's great. If this is your picture, Peggy Brown, you have won. That is our 3D embossing folders. She's done colouring, she's done the embossing, absolutely gorgeous. Tracy really likes that one. There you go. It stood out to her, beautiful. So we are loving that. Well done, Peggy. So, do we need Peggy to drop us an email? Right. So, Peggy, you need to drop us an email at the address, the prizes at Crafters Companion. It's coming up. There we go. There you go. So, prizes at crafterscompanion.com. That's why I was getting confusing. I knew there was a .com one. Drop us an email on there just saying that you won the card competition. Nicola will put it in our notes that they know where it is. And we will get you your gift voucher next week, £10, $10, wherever you are. Wow. And you can use that towards something, well, I doubt there's going to be a very imminent expiry on, but if you see something next week that you like in birthday, there you go. You've got an extra £10 off towards that. I think that's absolutely brilliant. So, absolutely well done. Congratulations, Peggy. So pleased for you. Lots of love for that. Brilliant. Okay, so we are going to have a quick break, and that might just about... Thank you, Craig. Just give... You finished? You finished? Thank you. He's like... Big kid, aren't you? Yeah.
It's Saturday night.
It's Saturday night, I know.
I'm on caffeine.
You've got a gin and tonic waiting for you when you get home?
I've got pizza waiting at home. I've got gin and tonic waiting at home. I'll have WWE Fastlane at 1 a.m. in the morning.
I was just about to say, I'm coming round to yours. But now I've not changed my mind.
Big Brother tomorrow night. I'm in here on Monday night with Sarah and Ben. Oh, what a weekend I've got.
What a weekend. The gin and tonic, I was nearly there at the gin and tonic. Never mind. Right, OK, we're going to do a quick break all about Crafters TV, how to shop on Crafters TV, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get your hands on the latest crafty must-haves. Leave the hard work to us while you shop from the comforts of your own living room. Head to the Crafters Companion website to see our full crafty range, or hit the Shop the Day button to see all the new and exciting products featuring on Crafters TV. Once you've filled your cart, leave it to us to get your crafty goodies to you in super quick time, so you can get on with being creative. Crafters Companion, making crafty shopping a breeze.
A few weeks ago on the show, we were talking about places where all you guys lived. Well, we might have used Google Earth just to have a bit of a sneaky look at the village, town, or city that you lived in. And I thought it might be quite funny if I wrote a little ditty and I put on my Facebook page, where do y'all live? And I'll put your towns and cities and village into my little song. But I didn't realize that there would be about 425 responses, so I'm gonna cram as many places into this song as I can, but I won't get them all in. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. We craft in Lydney, Lynbrook, Launceston, Lehana, Tampa, Darlington, Almond Beach, Sedalia, Wills Point, Widnes, Wildwood, Wildham, Archer, Tackwell Lake, Walkerburn, Yate, Bay, Hesperia, Sublimity, Pinhole, Avon, Freeport, Mapleton, San Jose, Annam, Great Bend, Detroit, Keniston. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. Crafting Parachute, Paradise, Pollux, Papillion, Sheepshead Bay, St. Petersburg, Seacon, Sutton, Saturday, Bristol, Brighton, Brooklyn, Blackwood, Barnsley, Tide Squeeze, South Shields, Temple Hills and Bentley, Tampa, Pillar, Tucumcari, Cary, Ottawa, Hull, Harrisburg, Lexington, Tupelo, Cincinnati, Austinburg. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. Crafting Loxahatchee, Lakesville, Lawrence, Lacey, Livermore, Albuquerque, Weeki-Wachee, Pensacola, Elsmere, Mechanicsburg, Williamsburg, Rebella, Houston, Burlington, Wet Wang, Market, Drayton, Yale, Memphis, Wellington, Wapakoneta, Homer, Sassa, Santa Rosa, Wichita, Honolulu, Riverdale, Melbourne, Commerce, Fintana. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. Crafting Newton Abbey, Richmond, Dudley, Georgetown, East Kilbride, Eugene, Ferrum, Broward, Walkerstown, Newarheim, Fort Wayne, Gloucester, Chester, Long Beach, Raphael, St. Dominic, St. Cloud, St. Augustine Beach, Sand Springs, Romford, Tulsa, Traverse City, Wesley Chapel, Ballarat, Medina, Ramble City. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. Crafting Sawbrook, Tucson, Kissimmee, Philadelphia, Chicago, Las Vegas, Biloxi, Latte, Elmira, Glendale, Scottsdale, Anchorage, and Hurtville, Seattle, Gold Canyon, Ipswich, Cumberland, Unionville, Toledo, Miami, Atlanta, Cleveland, Gold Canyon, Altoona, Calounda, Port Orange, Glover, Rising Sun. We craft everywhere, man, we craft everywhere. From over here to there, man, we craft everywhere. In crafters we've got our share, man, we craft everywhere. And there's a few more places I didn't manage to get into the song. West Runton, Newcastle, Kingswood, Sandbach, Carlisle, Bewley, Albury, Durham, Springfield, Ashington. We craft in Greenville, Lincoln, Nebraska, Sumter, Oak Park, Winchester, Nashville, Stoke-on-Trent, Mount Pocono, Greenville, Charlotte, Oxon Hill, Tunbridge Wells, Modesto, Haverhill, Sierra Vista, Arecibo, Morgantown, O'Fallon, Aurora, Black Forest. We craft in Hermiston, Brownsburg, Henderson, Socorro, Fort Myers, Mandenholm, Hilliard, Farmingdale, East Moline, Summers Point, Calgary, Charleston, Sawston, Malden, Galloway, Fitchburg, Hopewell, Aberdeen, Winstead, Castlewood, Chatsworth, Limestone, Victoria, Willoughby, Rockland, Canton, Falmouth, Conestoga, Lyndhurst, Ashbourne, and Cluj-Napoca. Oh yeah.
So much love is coming through for Peggy's card. Congratulations, Peggy. Everyone is loving your card. Kay Restad says, reminds me of the song I'll Never Grow Up. Love Craig's antics. No, never change, Craig. We love you as you are. There we go. Okay, right, I'm going to jump straight back in. We are going to go straight back in on the Venetian Grace Collection. One last time, all of the details will come up on the screen. If you want that today, £51, $68. You're saving over 15%. Your platinum price is £40.80, $54.40. $40 if you are platinum. So you're going to get your harmonious harp. We'll go through them quite quick because you've seen them at least 4 times now. Harmonious harp, Rialto bridge. You've got a cut and you've got a die and stamp there with our little cherub. You've got the first of your frames, your Renaissance frame. That's your one that embosses. You've got that lovely detail one of your ornamental frame. So many different ways to use these. Renaissance border and corners. And you can see straight away how that's going to work so well with that as well. You've got opulent grace. And again, that's going to work with the border dies and those corners as you've just seen Craig use. Look gorgeous. It's a cut and embossed folder. And finally, you're going to get all of these lovely, lovely stamps as well. So you're going to get all of those in there, and that's your moment in time stamps. You can see that because we've got moment in time there. Usually, whatever the name of the stamp set is one of the names as what one of the stamps actually says. As I said, £40, $80, $54, 40 if you want all of that and you're platinum. And Craig's just about got time for one last demo, I think.
I think so. Let's have a look at a few additional samples, and I'll show you a few other ones that I also showed you earlier on, just to give you some more ideas. Because, you know, quite conscious and purposely on the fact that I've just reined it all back in with simple cardstock, simple colours. But of course, you've got all these colours out there in your crafty stash to be using. All of the papers, should you go for them or have them, that you can start to build all of these beautiful cards, all of these beautiful projects. They're going to be nice as accent elements when it comes to things such as memory books or scrapbooks, bringing in all of your acetates as well. It really is a divine collection with all of the components, and it is a lovely, lovely collection, lovely, you know, selection collection. Maybe you didn't want to go for the full one when it launched. Maybe the full lot wasn't. Do you know what? It was maybe one of those, because it happens to me, it was maybe one of those at the time, Con, you thought, it's not my style.
I know.
It's not my style. I was like that with Once Upon a Time, Sarah's signature.
Right.
So it's not really my style, you know, princesses. I love pinks and lilacs, etc., etc. But it wasn't until it actually came out and I seen all the team's finished samples, I seen what everyone was doing on the team, and I was like, I really do like that.
I think it's what you've got to have it to play with it and put your own twist on it, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So it could be that you didn't go for the collection first time round, but then you're thinking, actually, I don't want the papers and that, so this collection's good because you don't get them unless you want to add them in. I'll just use all my own papers. So in all honesty, this card is going to be a similar layout to what I've done before, but we're going to do a white work again, but with some grey, so a bit different within Play Your Crafts Right. So let's go in white multi-purpose here, and we're going to go in with the folder. This time the actual aperture will play not a key part, but it will play a part when it comes to the layout. So once again, I've just cut that to 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, so it's just a little bit slimmer than my folder. So I find
that helps to prevent any buckling and creasing, doesn't
absolutely,
it?
yeah, absolutely. So that was so funny enough, Nicholas just said there, that was the tip that Debbie gave yesterday. It was actually a tip that I got off of Debbie a couple of months ago when she was on this side, I was on that side, and she gave that tip. And I thought, I need to start doing that.
The other tip is always put your embossing folder in, fold edge as you lead.
Hinge first, yeah.
Hinge first, because then the card has room to stretch.
Absolutely. I always think as well, Con, now the chances of this, certainly with ours, is very slim. If you've got a flimsy or flexible embossing folder, my always worry is if you go that way, if it starts to buckle, it's got nowhere to go against other than snap. So therefore, if you go hinge first, then it's not going to buckle because, of course, you're pushing down that pressure. But yeah, as you said as well, completely agree. So there, white multi-purpose, leaving it with white multi-purpose. How gorgeous does that look?
That metal shim makes a difference.
It does make a difference. It doesn't damage the folder, it doesn't damage the die whatsoever. It just makes that difference. The only difference that I've done is I've put acetate. Now, this isn't going to be a shaker, so I've not done it. Actually, tell a lie, it is going to be a shaker. So I've done it so I've got the joins, but what I've also done is put a few little petals on. The only reason I've done this step, we've done shakers a number of times and I'll do them again in the future, but for masterclass I just thought, let's just skip out that step of creating. All that I've done, put acetate in the back layer and then lifted with the foam pad strips. So we're going to do triple drop shadows for these.
Wow.
So the top one, my white, we're going to do that with the cut and the emboss.
Right.
So we're going to cut our harp, and what I can also do, let's bring in one of the corners, but we're going to use one of the other symmetrical corners. We're going to use that one. We used that one before, so we're going to use this one. I'm just going to do one, because I've got a couple, because the additional layers I can do with my Gemini Mini, because I don't need to emboss it. So I'm going to go with my frosted, I'm going to go in with my magnetic, and then we're going to go with our top plate. Feed that one through. So we're going to let that do its thing. Let's bring out my embossing mat here. And I thought that the reason I purposely done like a box and a card kind of the same, and purposely I've done them side by side, is just to show you the difference. I'm changing the colours, not necessarily changing the layout, but I'm changing the colours, and therefore, let me put that back and do it the way that I usually do it. It just gives you a different look when it comes to a box versus a card. So let's take that out. If it ever pops out, just slot it back in, take any excess away, otherwise that's just going to get jammed in the layers and stop parts of it.
It embosses, doesn't it?
It embosses,
The pressure embosses it in.
Absolutely. So let's take that
Have you ever like
top layer.
embossed, you know, you've had like a pearl or something between your plates, and
yeah.
it just embosses them, you know.
Just embosses
You
it.
can guarantee it's onto a bit that you wanted as white.
Definitely.
Or something like that.
You've got that little indentation when it comes to your cardstock, which is a nuisance.
Or even a little piece of rogue card. Looks like a massive crater when it embosses into your card, doesn't it?
It does. Really, really does. So never underestimate the power of white multi-purpose cardstock that hopefully I've shown you from Play Your Crafts Right and this show. So let's take that one. So let's pop that out there and carefully, just going to carefully prise that out. I've got, where I've positioned my tape, it's sunk into the embossed detail, so it's just catching it.
Yeah, that's the only problem, is if you leave your tape on, it can catch a little
It can, yeah, if you overstick. So it should be okay, because that's actually waste. Here we go. So it's the same.
Oh, yes.
So that detail, that embossed detail.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
It's one of those, when it comes to embossing, embossing detail, we do try and put inks or we'll put waxes on so that we can show you how incredible the depth is with the emboss, but also plain white that you can see, it looks incredible. So sometimes it is worthwhile, you know, just bearing with the demonstration that you might not always see the emboss straight away, but the end result with all that white work, it looks incredible. So because I don't need to worry about the embossed detail, I'm just going to go in white multi-purpose with a hint of silver, pop these ones out, and then I've gone into my 12 by 12 texture card pad, the neutrals, and gone in with, I think it was the second shade of grey, and I'm going to cut that one again, run that one through. So we're just going to do that one here, pop that one out, take that out, and again, pop these bits. And in actual fact as well, if you were to stick the harp down, this would be a lovely one to paper piece back in, maybe a bit metallic or satin or something along those lines. I'm going to drop shadow these. I'll not drop shadow this one because I've already done a couple, so I'll just show you that. But at least I can show you when it comes to the harp, although I don't do anything different other than do, well, essentially it is a triple, but I'm doing it twice so that we get that triple look. So I'm just going to go in with my tacky glue. We're just going to run that over the back, all the way around. I'm just going to do little lines there. So we're going to drop shadow onto the white Centura pearl. So I'm going to go down to the bottom right-hand corner like I usually do. and then get that into position, hold that in, and then we're going to do that again, but I'm keeping my eye on the white Centura Pearl. That's then what I'm going to drop shadow against the grey.
You're not drop shadowing the multi-purpose because you've already done that.
That's it, yeah. So I'm going to go in. So this time, what I'm doing is I'm looking at that overhang of the Centura Pearl, and then I'm going to do the drop shadow there. So if I bring that in,
Wow.
see the depth that gives you by going with your white Centura Pearl and second shade of grey. So press that in, and then that was the corner that I've just done there. So I've done exactly the same, but like this morning, Corrine, I've not come down to the bottom right-hand corner. What I've done is I've come directly down.
Yep.
So it's symmetrical on both sides, and then I've done the same within that one there. And then let's move that out the way, that out the way, and then that out the way. So I've got my harp, my two little corners, and I've also done a little sentiment. This one's saying, "You are the music in my heart." So I've not gone round this one yet, so I'm just going to go in, and I'm just following the line. So it doesn't need to be neat. All that you're wanting to do is essentially follow that line. Following the letters and the words, doing them individually. Because even though you're not neat, the flow and the direction of your pen, essentially you're just mimicking the words themselves.
Doing it like you're doing it as a flow rather than, you know.
Colouring in block or...
Yeah, it's the way doing it as a flow rather than like individual bits really seems to work for me.
Does it? You seem to get the right curvature above the A and the E by going and flowing around it. Yeah, yep. You get that natural flow. And then let's take. I thought I had. Let me dive into my box of delights here, because I thought I had some microbeads. If not, glitter or sequins will do. I think it's going to have to be sequins. Let's bring in.
It's going to have to be sequins. You can't find your microbeads.
I can't find my little microbeads, so let's.
Do you know what? You'll finish and you'll go, and there they are.
You know what? I will. I'll be packing up and I'll find them.
Yeah.
I'll find them. So let's go in another 5x7 card, bit top fold. Done my little insert again. The deepest colour that I'm using here is grey, so my matte layer is going to be grey. So this is now going to be ready for me to then send to whoever I'm going to give it to, and when I know, I can pop my own little verse or sentiment in there. So that's that done. Also, what it's doing at the time being, Corrine, is although it's going to be a top fold, so a top fold, tent fold, it's going to give you structure, but still, there's going to be a lot of weight on the front with very little in the middle. So for the time being, it's giving it that extra strength just to stabilise it. Not that it really needs stabilised, but you know what I mean by just adding that extra strength. So because our embossing folder Laird, that was 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. My Centura Pearl will be 4x6.
Yeah.
And then my grey is going to be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4.
Yeah.
So let's add these. So I've given myself proper in 1/4 of an inch increments. So what I'm going to do is I usually start with the top layer and then work down, but for this one, because I'm going to do a shaker, let's take my 2 layers, and in actual fact that grey layer is not quite 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I've trimmed it, so I've given myself a thinner grey layer. Yeah, forgot I'd done that, because I'd done this, was it the other night there, the other day? Thursday,
I know, we have to prep
Thursday.
so far in advance sometimes. You've probably prepped 3 shows since you did this, haven't you?
Yeah, quite literally. Quite literally.
I think I've prepped something for a show on about the 24th of the month, just because I happen to have, you know, the product, so I could get on with it and I could do it.
Well, I'll be the same. So I'm in here Monday night with Ben and Sarah. I've got no show. It's what we class as prep days, where we can try and get ahead with any prep or that, because I'm at Hobby Maker all day Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, are going to be like prep days, and that's my plan, Corrine, to get ahead for shows that I've got at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Just really try and get ahead. But if I do that, I have to write myself notes.
Yeah.
Because I always remember when me and Bibby were together, done work together, I always remember her saying, if you can, don't always prep too far in advance unless you're going to give yourself notes of everything that you've done and used. Because you think you're going to remember, but you don't. You forget, and it's true. So when I do that Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll have my list of everything that I've done. So I'm just going to go in with these kind of clear sequins that have got a rose tint to them here. In actual fact, this will work with this collection. And then I'm just going to pop that. So I've made sure that's as central as it can be, away from the foam layers. Let's bring that in, pack that well, so we've got our shaker. Now the difference this time is I'm not going to cover that, that's going to go over the top. Now some may say it's a waste, some may say, well, it's that nice little nod of a shaker in the background. You'll hear the sound at first, you'll think, where's that coming from? And it's when you inspect the card. One of those elements where the more you look at the card,
if you wanted to, you could have not put some of those pearls down at the side and just dropped it down.
Of course you could.
Bottom right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's always the great thing with what we do here. You can always copy and replicate everything that we do exactly. If you want to do it exactly, you can do that. If you want to change it, if you want to adapt it, you can absolutely do that as well. No problem whatsoever. It's nice seeing what you make and create following exactly what we do, and then it's also nice to see your own little creative spin as well. So yeah, if you want to adapt it, then you can do. I'm going to come along, take these ones off here. I thought I was going to struggle with these because I cut my nails earlier on.
You see, I go straight in with my pokey tool, but I suppose that's because I've got my silly nails.
Usually, what I'll know about my pokey fingernail, this nail I usually keep a little bit longer. That's my pokey nail for foam pads and that. But I actually cut that one by mistake. And the reason I purposely positioned them there, Corrine, is before I popped all this into a bag, I just made sure that that was going to fit, which you can see. So that's how I knew where to put my pearls before. Just in case you wonder, hey, that was pretty jammy, getting those pearls in the right place first time round. But that's why I'd already pre-looked and checked. So you're still seeing elements of the shaker through that. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to go corner to corner this time, but I'm going to keep that flat. So these ones can go flat into there, just creating that accent when it comes to the embossed detail of the folder. But then, once again, because we've done a triple, it really does break away from the white layer, because essentially the top corner is white multi-purpose, which is what I've embossed.
Yeah.
But we've given Centura Pearl and the grey, so it's lifted. It's really good. It's as if it is an actual physical embellishment because of the depth that it's given. And then once again, let's come in here. So I'm going to go direct into the middle once again. I'm blocking off a couple of pearls, but hey ho. And then to really just finish off, I'm going to pop that there. I've got 3 tiny little butterflies. I've done this in grey, so I'm just going to position them first. So I tend to do 3. So I've got one going one way, one going the other way, and then I've got the third one going back up, facing the same. So let's put a dot of glue just into the back there. And I tend to do like 1, 2, 3 on opposite sides.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I might do, you know, the 2 might be this side and 1 at this side. Doesn't really matter. I just dot them around each other. Let's pop that one in there. Let's hold that in. And then let's go, so that one, I needed to go that way. Let's press that, because again, I've got that first, I've got a little bit of sticky on the pokey tool. So that butterfly's going that way, so I want that one to go that way, and then this one is going to go that way again, but I might lift it. So instead of it going straight to an angle, I'm just going to have it so it's maybe just going up
bit less.
a little bit less. You don't need to overthink things like that. I'm just pernickety when I'm sitting in my craft room and thinking about direction. But if I pop that into there, and then there we go.
Do you know what? That is absolutely gorgeous. And do you know what I think that would be good for? That would be good as a wedding card.
Yeah, you're right, wouldn't it?
Talking about weddings, we just want to say on here that we are saying a huge, huge congratulations. You remember our Georgia the Joystick who left at the end of August? He got married on Thursday, him and, oh my goodness me, the most beautiful bride ever, Jen. They got married on Thursday, I believe. Seen some pictures and they're off on honeymoon in Rome. So we want to say massive, massive congratulations. And that card just reminded us it's all about the weddings. So there we go. I've got a comment I really want to read out, but I'm going to let us start with the vote to give our Gracie time to catch up. So there we go. Right, could you introduce us to your 3 makes, please?
Of course I can, absolutely. So we've got 3 to go for, reigning in that collection in a different avenue for all 3 of them. So 1, 2 or 3. So we've got number 1, have A4, so A5, and then we've just done our harp, creating our own little background, number 1. Number 2, we've gone for the black, white and gold look, created that gift box, building up the layers. And then we've got number 3, we've just done there the white work, but adding that little bit of grey in the background, just lifting it a little bit more, giving it that pro emboss sort of feel. So that one is your 3rd one. All, of course, from Venetian Grace, but 1, 2 or 3, and the choice is yours.
I mean, really, the main element going across that is the harp and the corners and the emboss, cut and emboss folder. I mean, how different are those? 3 very different cards, focusing on just a small number of elements. Okay, right, please get voting because we're going to have to do demo of the day as well. Right, Mary says, Mary Agula Chandler. I'm sorry if I've said that wrong, Mary. I really do apologise. She says, I'm just sitting here enjoying the presentation. I'm smiling, I'm feeling blessed. I'm just thanking God that Craig is looking so good and looking like he's feeling so healthy. The world's a better place with you in it, Craig. I just love your crafting segments. There you go. He's going to be crying. It's
quite
Coffee
literally.
and Craig in the morning. I just feel so blessed. Thank you, Craig. We all just love you, your crafting talent and the whole CC gang. Just wanted to add that. Now back off to watching and my coffee.
That's lovely.
Good, isn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. There you go. You made our presenter cry. There you go. Happy tears, happy tears. Now I'm going to cry if you're not careful.
Definitely.
There you
Thank you.
go.
Was that Kathy?
Mary.
Mary. Thank you, Mary. That was really lovely of you. Thank you.
Okay, right. I'll let Craig compose himself.
Yes.
He's going to compose himself. Carol D says, this collection looks elegant in all the Wedgwood colours. Can you imagine it? In those blue... Like my dress, these sorts of colours, I think. I always think this is my Wedgwood dress. That would look beautiful. Ardiette, she says, I've made a twist and pop card using the cupcake die. Also a Halloween card using Spiral Binders envelope die set with the add-on Halloween dies. Now that's the brilliant thing is, our collections do cross over to collections you might have bought elsewhere. No one's saying if you're using something Crafter's Companion, it has to all be Crafter's Companion. We know that you buy from multiple places and you will find that our collections work so well with others. Maybe it's a frame, maybe it's a paper, maybe it's some, you know, something from another collection that you have bought, but they work so well. So thank you, Diette. And she says, I use the glossy highlight gel to accent flowers, characters and letter die cuts. There you go. That's, yeah. Lovely, that sounds really good. Bless. Helen says very elegant, sorry, Hanelor says very, I wonder if that's Anlaw. My mum's got a friend called Anlaw. I wonder if you say the H or whether it's an Anlaw. I really apologise. I'm calling it Hanel-law, but I'm not sure. It might be Anlaw. Very elegant card. Love it. Lois says, beautiful card. Thank you, Craig. Lynn Morton says, beautiful card, Craig. There we go. Loads of people agreeing with Mary's sentiment. Dawn, Deborah saying, yeah, absolutely right. So's Lynn Morton. Very well said, says Sue Benson. Right, OK. demo of the show, which we can do now, so that we can do demo of the day, goes to... Which one did you want to keep, Craig?
I don't know. I appreciate any of them being voted, so...
The winner of this one is number 1, and I have to admit, that is my favourite.
You did, when I was setting up this morning with it and said I was doing that tonight, you did say that you really liked that one, didn't you? Because I done a little tease on my Instagram story the other night, just a little bit of a close-up. So I'll bring this across to you,
Thank you.
Corrine.
So, because we did Craft Your Stash earlier, we did, and Craig was very techniquey. Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Because it was very techniquey, we didn't do a demo, because there wasn't a full card made. It was all about those techniques. So we've just got the 2. Wow, how are you going to pick this? So, all focusing on the Colours of Summer paper pad was number 1. Isn't that beautiful? And then number 2, oops, I'm pushing it down, is all about the Venetian Grace. Can I just say, picking these up and seeing how Craig puts those inserts in, the difference it feels so robust. I mean, you could do that in there as well. He hasn't, but when I pick up the 2, the difference it makes to the card is phenomenal, isn't it? It really is. So you've got a choice, 1 or 2. Ooh. Good job you're not voting, Nicola. She could still vote, she says. She often votes. Oh, it's in the T's and C's. Employees of the company are not allowed to enter into the competition or vote. There you go. Yeah, that's that.
True.
That she's knocked it on the head. Whether our Grace would count your vote is another question. There we go. She still votes. Makes you feel good. Just don't vote for them both, otherwise you're null and... Yeah, I do know people that have done that, and then you think, oh, dear me, I don't know why you did that. Karen says, words cannot express how precious Craig is to me. He has helped me through many hard times. There you go. OK. Thank you. Some lovely comments coming in tonight.
Really nice.
We've only got a couple of minutes, literally. So, Craig, can you just tell us a technique or some little hints and tips all about the Venetian Grace?
Yeah, sure. We'll quickly get a card rustled up with everything I've already cut here. So I'm using the ornamental frame. So what I've done, Corrine, is I've cut the outer die, and I've done that twice. So I've done it twice. Now, on one of them, what I've done is I've just scored at the back.
Yes.
So I've just done it on one of them, and then I've attached with my tacky glue, and then that's given me a card front. So I've come in with some green pastel just from the
that's a
stash.
nice colour.
Really nice one, isn't it? Yeah, really enjoy picking this one out. Now I'm going to go in. I would at home, I would use my tacky glue. I would spend a little bit more time. Yes, the dotty tape runner is going to work a treat. Just be careful with when it comes to the delicate elements of this die or any die, because if you're not careful, you don't want to pull any of the components away. I have used the inner die as well, and then I'm just going to overlay that over the top. What I've also pre-done as well is Faith, Love and Hope, just one with one of my oval nesting dies. So that Faith, Love and Hope also comes from the Venetian Grace, that stamp set. Gone in with a little bit of lilac there. So that one, let's bring in a pad here and stick that one on. So when you've got dies that have got an outer edge die, it can be really nice to use them to create a card blank.
What a colour combination. I'm loving that colour combination.
See, I love my pastels, Corrine.
I would never necessarily have thought of mint and lilac. I don't
Worked
know why.
a treat, don't they? They work
beautifully.
Absolute treat. And then these little flowers are, ironically, from Once Upon a Time.
Oh, are they?
So these are the little flower ones, and I've just layered 3 up together, touching that with tacky glue. Something in my mind the other night when I was prepping these must have thought, Craig, you're just going to have time for a very quick card.
Yeah.
Just have them all cut. So then I'm going to go into there, couple of little dots. I'm going to go in with these gems that I pulled out this morning for Play Your Crafts Right.
Oh, you coloured some purple, didn't you?
I coloured some purple, which was not planned at the time.
But works so well.
But works so well. That's then going to go in. So remember, Play Your Crafts Right, I coloured these with tri-blends.
Yeah.
I showed the gems, the pearls, ribbon, how you can colour with your tri-blends. And that is all that I'm going to do.
So pretty. Oh, there you go. A minute to make a card.
There we go.
How perfect is that? Just to show you how it can be a topper, but it can actually be your card shape as well. So versatile. There we go. So, demo of the day. Is it the Venetian Grace, or is it the Colour of Summer with the double-sided dies on? And it's number one.
Wow.
It's gone through all day. Absolutely gorgeous. Just your double-sided, there we go. That's the double-sided dies on there and the gorgeous colours of summer.
Doesn't it go to show as well, sorry Corrine, doesn't it go to show as well that we can, because when I was prepping, I know we're just waiting to run out of time, but that pink card there took me a couple of hours to prep. That one that's just one demo of the day, 20 minutes to prep, and even then it was probably a bit less than that because I ended up recutting the layers live for you to see. So it just goes to show that some of the most quick, the simple, the effective, that yellow border all the way around, that's just the opposite side of the pattern paper. That's all you need sometimes to just create that incredible card.
Yeah. Sometimes simple is
Absolutely.
so much more. Yes, Nicola, less is definitely more. OK, we're going to disappear off now. Craig's going home. He's got prep and stuff to do tomorrow. And I am back tomorrow with Jan. And it's our Craft Your Stash. It's all about mixed media.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's going to be an amazing day. Please come back and join us tomorrow. See you later.
Toodles.